Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Sprints of Consciousness. I am Artemis Quinn, and this was an idea that came together out of a series of writing sprints that I was doing with my friend Tiffanie. We are both writers. We are also both artists, and we realized as we were doing these writing sprints that we were having fantastic conversations in between the periods where we were quiet and writing. So we decided to start a podcast. This is kind of a stream of consciousness podcast. There's nothing that is pre-planned in terms of topics or anything like that. So you just kind of join us on our journey. One of the things that we would like to eventually do with this podcast is have interviews with other authors and artists, and also talk to other friends as we are being productive. To keep the stream of consciousness vibe, we do eventually want to answer people's questions on the podcast, but we'll keep it as a bulleted point style so that we can come to them if we're finding it difficult to have a conversation or it's a quiet day. So without further ado, let me launch into the first episode. Joining me on this episode is Tiffanie, as well as Auden eris-everen, and myself, Artemis Quinn. So we talked for about an hour and a half, and we cover a little bit of everything from publishing to coming up with ideas to synopsis of our stories, all sorts of things. So let's get into it. Hello, everybody. Thank you for listening. This is Sprints of Consciousness, a little series that we are doing. Just a group of friends who are doing sprints together. I am Artemis Quinn. With me is Auden eris-everen and Tiffanie. And Auden and I are working on Aloe, which is book 2 in the Tales from the Night Garden series. What are you working on today, Tiffanie?
To Rule Among the Stars.
Okay. We're doing contemporary dark fantasy, and Tiffanie is doing more sci-fi oriented work.
Yeah, sci-fi space opera.
Yeah, Tiffany's got an awesome world. You should talk to her at some point so she can tell you about like some of the ideas that she has.
It was kind of inspired by The Voidling Strikes Again. Well, do we want to go for a longer sprint today or a shorter one?
I think it's fine to go for the 30 minutes that we've been doing. Auden, so you know, what we've been doing is setting a timer for 30 minutes to focus on what we're working on.
Mm-hmm.
And like sometimes we'll talk through, sometimes we won't. It really depends on just where we're at or if we find something interesting in what we're working on that we want to talk about.
Sometimes we send little clips of what we're working on to each other, and
yeah,
that distracts us a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Auden and I are doing that in the document right now too.
I'm significantly farther than Artie is in the document here.
Yeah, because I'm rereading from the beginning for Aloe because I just spent the last 2 weeks working on Rose. So I'm back to a point of, okay, where was I? So I need to read what we're up to before I can jump back in. But I mean, that's fine too, because where we stopped, I believe, is a portion that Auden needs to write. Mm-hmm. The way that we do our writing style is basically like role play style almost. Like they'll do one point of view and then I'll do one point of view and we'll switch back and forth. Mm-hmm. And then as we're editing, we edit both so that like the voices stay very distinct, but like if we notice something, then we can add it or we can try to, build on those things together.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, but then we run into situations where one of us gets busy and like, or we're doing something else and then we have to go back and reread. So that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think 30 minutes for a sprint is totally fine. Again, like, to be clear, that doesn't mean that we have to be quiet for the 30 minutes or anything like that. It's just a matter of
Trying not to get too distracted.
exactly.
Yeah.
I do need to do William's meds in about 10 minutes, so I may just say BRB.
Well,
but
if you want, we could do a 10-minute sprint to start. That way we can just stop so you can do his meds.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Okay. Well, then, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then starting now.
A fun fact about our editing docs, too, like, we usually keep them in sepia because it's easier for dyslexic people to read.
Yep.
Fun fact, I have a form of dyslexia.
We all do.
You might like changing the color of your page then, because, yeah.
I do.
Tiffanie
gray.
works in Scrivener, right?
My document's gray.
Oh, good. Yeah, it is very hard to read a white screen.
I also, Artemis knows this, I change my fonts when editing. I work in sometimes Comic Sans, but most of the time I just switch between just things like Sitka text or just whatever I find pretty at the time. But it helps me pick out details that look wrong, like a misspelled word. So
yeah, we write in Arial, and then for the formatting, we switch it to Times New Roman.
It's funny how we have to trick our brains into finding mistakes.
Right.
I've already formatted the first part of Lemon Balm, and I'm already like, all right, I should go through this one more time and triple check everything.
Just reread it again.
Yeah, reread it aloud to myself.
I think I desperately needed to sleep. We're getting rid of I think.
I've been getting rid of I thinks and like repeated sentences and stuff too. Acanthus is self-destructing again.
Oh no.
Per usual.
Per usual.
Nothing new there.
Just talking about how everything's his fault and how they manipulated Cypress into doing something, and it's like, no, you haven't. Stop it. People have autonomy.
And I'm pretty sure that part of the book, Cypress is just like, shut up.
No, at this part of the book, I don't. None of this is stuff that Cypress can hear. This is just Acanthus and their inner monologue. But usually, Cypress is like, "Shut up."
Typically,
be nicer to yourself.
Typically,
it's really interesting reading this after having worked on Rose for the last 2 weeks, because Rose is where like a lot of this negative self-talk comes from. So it's like, oh, wow, okay. This makes so much sense in a way that we didn't plan.
Yeah, it's interesting going back and just having things fall into place sometimes.
Yeah, that's like my favorite thing about writing a series, honestly.
It's funny because one of our characters is much more talkative than we planned her to be.
Yeah, that one of the characters was meant to be nearly mute at the start of her existence, and she's become like one of the biggest talkers.
Yeah, sometimes characters have a mind of their own.
Yeah,
Ours sure do.
Ours run this ship.
We didn't write this book. Our characters did.
Shortening this a bit.
And that's time.
Yippee.
All right. I only got through like half a page because I was busy laughing at something. So
I got 188 words then.
That's not too bad.
No.
There's a point. Acanthus is talking about Acanthus is the lore dumper because they are
Cypress is just a baby.
Yeah, Cypress has only been in the world of shadows for like 2 years at this point, and was completely in the dark when he was turned. So like Acanthus knows things that no one else in the story knows. So they tend to drop all of this lore. But there's a sentence in here that talks about werewolves being a different flavor of supernatural. And I was like, what are you, a steak? Like
Medium rare, still a wooing.
no, well done here. Early wolf burger.
Oh man.
Ooh.
I think I already spot.
Enemies didn't oak much.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a typo.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, that's how you find them, right?
Yep. It's supposed to say look.
We've had some pretty hilarious typos.
Yeah.
Breath. Or was it mouth?
Bath. It was supposed to be the mouth of the cave. It said the bath of the cave. Yeah, that was a good one.
There were also times where, like, we could tell it was late at night we were typing because there would just be, like, half a sentence.
And it would just, like, not be finished. And go into a completely different sentence.
Oh no.
But it was just like, what was supposed to be here? What were we adding?
Oh, yeah. I mean, sometimes I stop in the middle of a sentence because I find it easier to pick up, oh, this is where I was going with this, you know? Or like in the middle of a paragraph. You can always finish a sentence, you can always finish a paragraph, but you can't just like jump back into a story sometimes and finish the chapter because your mind is just like, what was I doing?
Exactly. Which is why when I take a step away from something for a little bit, it's like, all right, I need to reread this from the beginning. Like I've done that at least 4 times with Rose at this point, and I just got to the end of part 1. Like I'm gonna, the next time that I read it probably won't have many edits because it's like it's still first draft, but I've edited it 4 times because I've been reading as I go. So
are we ready for a longer one, or do we want to talk for a bit first?
we can talk for a bit first, or either or. Honestly, I'm fine.
Okay.
With both.
What do we want to talk about?
I don't know. Since we're recording this, maybe we should talk a little bit about our stories, like the kind of rough overview of what's going on in them.
All right. Well, don't everyone talk at once.
Talk about our work? What?
Okay.
Well,
that's one of the things. Oh, sorry, Auden, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Oh. There's kind of a delay in my thing sometimes, and I tend to overlap people.
It happens.
Yeah, that's okay. I was just gonna say, in Aloe, the pack kind of grows and stuff happens.
Yeah.
This is exactly what Artemis and I were talking about the other day. Just like when we were chatting one day. When people ask us about our stories, it's like that meme. You were the one who brought up the meme. I had a dream the other day. It's like our brain freezes and we can't talk about what we're actually trying to say.
Right?
Yeah, it's like that. The meme of
the kid.
That one kid. Yeah. Did you ever? Did you ever?
Okay, so the pack.
That one kid. That is so helpful.
Yeah. But yeah, if we are talking to ourselves about our story. It's like it's this rich world, and this happens, and this happens, and this happens. It's so coherent. But you try and explain that to somebody else, and you can't put a sentence together.
I think it's because you've put it together already, so it's hard to figure out like where to start because you've already worked all of that stuff out by yourself, right?
Yeah.
Or with a writing partner in mine and Auden's case. So like it's one of those things where it's like makes me think of the other meme from Narnia, the Aslan meme. Do not speak to me of the old magic witch.
I don't know that
I
meme.
was there when it was written.
Yeah, I don't know that meme, but I know the book. Does that count?
Right. It's from the. I think that's a quote from the book, but it's
Yeah.
talking about the movies.
Definitely in the movie. Yeah.
But Aloe basically. So if Lemon Balm is the story of how Cypress gets pulled into the world of shadows and finds a family for himself, then Aloe is the story of defending that family, essentially. A lot of stuff tends to happen that goes into that. I'm trying to think of how to talk about it without adding spoilers. So, like, in our books, Cypress is the main character. Acanthus is also a main character, but if there were only one main character, then Acanthus would be more love interest. But because we're seeing both of their point of views, they're both main characters. But the thing is that Acanthus is a much older character, so there's much less opportunity for character growth. Mm-hmm. So a lot of it is really following Cypress's journey, and Acanthus is kind of along for the ride, trying to be a mentor, but also dealing with their own imperfections and stuff like that.
Acanthus grows a lot because he's learning about the wolves and more about the witches and like how everyone can work together. So there is room for character growth with Acanthus, but
it's a lot slower.
Yeah.
And Acanthus is from where Acanthus is standing, they start as like at the start of Lemon Balm, they're a hermit. They've kind of given up on everybody. And what is going on is they're learning to trust people again, and they're learning how to basically navigate having companions. And then in Aloe, a lot of what they are doing is undoing some of the harm that their inaction caused, like in the past. And like Cypress is kind of along on that ride because of I need to protect my new family.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. I'd like to see how the pack grows. I know Auden said that the pack is going to grow in this one.
Yeah.
And I know I haven't read the first book yet.
That's okay.
But I'll be reading it soon. And I've heard a lot of snippets and gotten a lot of I've heard a lot of snippets and gotten a lot of just sneak peeks of things. So I have kind of a basic understanding of where things are going. So it's kind of exciting to see it come together.
Thank you. Most of what you've seen at this point, I think, is from Rose, actually, which is fun because Rose is a prequel. So, like, a lot of how Acanthus is in Rose is very different from how they are in Lemon Balm. And you start seeing, like, pieces of that through the later stories, but like in a stronger and more well-adjusted way. And that is really fun to write. So I've been having fun with that dynamic. With Lemon Balm, Lemon Balm is currently with the editor still. So Julian told us that it would absolutely be done by essentially September 5th, because that's 40 days from when we sent it. But knowing Julian, it'll probably be to us earlier.
Yeah, she usually works pretty quick.
She's absolutely amazing in that way.
She really is.
When I get it back, I'll be editing parts 2 and 3, and then the digital copy of the book is going to go out to all the backers who backed the backer kit, and then we're gonna you'll probably get it like the first, probably the second or third week of September. Is my goal is to have it by the end of the second week of September, but that is also an unrealistic delusional goal. So like hopefully by the end of the third week of September, that should give me enough time to format and to put our comments and edits into play, and then let Auden see what I've changed, add any final changes that they want to add, throw it into the formatting and get it sent to print. So,
yeah.
I'm going to be working on that around school time and everything, so we'll be getting that out as quick as possible.
Yeah. But like our rough goal, originally I wanted to have it out by the end of August, but that's just not feasible with like needing the time to edit. So we told people on the backer kit, realistically, everything should be sent by the end of September. You'll have it early. The book comes out on Halloween. So
awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I bet you both are excited. Yeah. Well, and my little story is nowhere near complete. I only have 3 chapters actually written, but I have 15 planned out so far.
Right, but this is a portion from a larger series that you're writing, right?
No, this was something I started for NaNoWriMo last year, I believe, before like it got shut down.
Okay. I thought that this was connected to the other one, but I may have been conflating something else.
This was something that I just had an idea. I was watching The Men in the Iron Mask, and I was just like, oh, I kind of like this idea of like a prisoner who has their face hidden and like ends up taking over. But what if it was in space and it was a woman, and let's make it like Space Scotland. So there's clans, like all the planets are these clans, and I have my mind map open here. So I have my main character is Jay. She is the prisoner, and her sister is the one who rules, and she takes over for her and finds out her sister is like this vicious dictator who kind of rules with an iron fist, and everyone's afraid of her. And she is definitely not that kind of person because she grew up in isolation. And basically, everyone, all of my other POVs are trying to overthrow her. So it's been fun because I have a spy in here that is playing both sides and is starting to realize that something is definitely wrong with her character, and there's a lot of power dynamic, and here comes a whole new power dynamic, England. Because this is Space Scotland. I'm basing it off of everything that actually happened in Scotland, so I have historical events written into it.
Which is fun because literally anything, like that whole area was a disaster show for so long.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it, and it's really interesting trying to interpret some of these things into sci-fi, because I'm trying to imagine what Scottish kilts and and Garb would be in like space. And it's been really fun because I'm giving them like swords and stuff, but on a spaceship. and claymores. and I was just like, well, that's not historically accurate. They would need some other kind of weapons. I need to look up and do more research. And Artemis was trying to give me access to library cards and stuff the other day. So I need to do a lot more research, but thankfully I'm still just like in the beginning of this. So I'm just adding placeholder things. And
I remember when you started working on this, because I'm pretty sure that I was working on Allo when you were working on the mind map, because this was last year for Nano. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I don't remember because I switched gears and started working on my other one.
I don't remember much of November last year because I was pretty depressed, but I remember that I was working on the books really heavily. So
Honestly, I don't think I remember much of last year either.
last year was rough.
But yeah, one of the symbols I have in this story is Jay basically had to wear a mask her whole life, and now she has to wear a mask to portray her sister. So it's she has like an identity crisis.
I mean, if you don't if you're not allowed to be yourself, then yeah, of course, you know.
I think that's one of the struggles a lot of people have is who are we? You know?
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's my little story. It's still growing, but
I think it's great.
Fun with it. Thank you.
I can't wait until I can read it.
Right?
Well, I will share as we go. So are we ready to write, or do we want to chat a little bit longer? And my cat just knocked something off my desk.
You gotta love it. I'm good to go back into writing. I have not like focused on this at all since we got onto the call. So
all right. So 30 minutes on the clock.
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Oh,
starting now. That hi sounded like a cat.
Yep, that's September. Why?
Aw.
Is she yelling at you again?
She is. Okay. I no longer have a keyboard. My keyboard has become cat.
My internet needs to quit.
Tell it to stop. It may listen.
And no,
it's nicely.
I just need to replace my Ethernet cord. It's just annoying because my setup is like across the house from my modem. So it's like strung around the outskirts of like 2 rooms. And yeah, it's going to be annoying to replace.
I think you have a second really long one that you stole from us when you cleaned last. I can't remember.
I don't know. It might not be long enough.
Maybe not. I don't know what that was, but it literally sounds like a snowplow just went down my street.
Did it snow?
No.
Absolutely not.
If there's snow in August, then there's something wrong.
Hey, you never know. I live in a desert.
What the heck is going on out there? Oh, okay. It's the 13th. They're pressure washing our building.
Oh.
You're under attack.
They brought out the water
fire.
Yeah, they were hitting my window with the spray, and I'm like, what is that?
Gotta love it.
Auto-correcting.
Is it still fighting you on a name?
Yes. It is a name. It's a Scottish name.
I think
Behind the names told me so.
I think autocorrect has something like some personal vendetta against.
It does.
Our autocorrect hates our formatting
Mm-hmm.
because we put internal thoughts in like italics, and it always
Yeah, so do I.
and it always thinks like, oh, there needs to be a comma here. No, there doesn't need to be a comma. That was a full thought.
I don't know a way to change that formatting so that it doesn't like get mad at us without having to like rewrite certain parts, and I'm not willing to do that at this point.
No, we're too far in.
Yeah, too far in with a deadline, so I need to change my Ethernet cord. The moment that we are done with this, I'm probably going to try and switch it out.
Rip.
It is driving me nuts today.
I have read the same sentence like 3 times.
Every single time it
I just see the light blinking and I know you're cursing it.
Oh, he's swearing up a storm.
I'll crash out. This is awful.
All we heard is every single time it and
every single time that it blinks out, it stops me from editing something, which is really, really annoying. It's one of my favorite parts of Aloe.
What part?
I'm sending it in the chat.
I like her.
Yeah, Lakaya is one of my favorite characters in the pack. So.
And that kind of mirrors a situation in book 1, but Acanthus wouldn't know about it.
Yeah. Cypress has the same line, "Nice to meet you."
No,
Spoiler character. No, fuck off. So birds of a feather.
Yeah, like father, like daughter.
Come on now. Spoilers.
This isn't a spoiler at all, but out of context from Aloe, Avery jumped around the island in the kitchen grabbing a plate of muffins. Of course, you want a muffin? Or 5? Maybe 7?
God damn it. Why did we write him like this?
He's a chaotic bisexual nightmare.
He is, and I adore him.
Oh, man.
Knowing some of the things that Acanthus does, Cypress is like, Acanthus is such a soft soul, and I'm just like, oh, if you only knew.
If you only knew.
Yes, the chess allegory.
Yes. You're moving pretty fast. Isn't that like chapter 2 already?
No, that's still chapter 1.
Oh. It sounds like they made it around the Grizzly's room.
The cats?
No, the pressure washers.
Power washers.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Sorry, it's just when suddenly it sounds like a snowplow is going down your street at August 13th in the middle of summer. It's a bit disconcerting.
Right.
Oh, that reminds me, once we're done, I should probably go check on my flowers, because we were supposed to bring them in, but we didn't have room to bring them in. So we just moved, we moved the patio around so the flowers are against the sliding doors rather than against the fence.
Okay.
I gotta go check if they're okay after this.
Most of my plants died.
I'm sorry.
Nothing stays alive here. I have some rosemary, some thyme, and a bell pepper that survived.
I kind of have a gift for bringing flowers back. Like, if you want some spider plants, I can definitely send those because my one exploded.
No, it's just the heat here. It's been like 101 all week.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. We've been under a heat advisory since, like, off and on since June.
Our heat advisories have been off and on too, but our heat advisories at like 88, 90. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I live in New Mexico, so
Yeah.
yeah.
No, our heat advisories are what actually concerns Wisconsinites. Because we get a cold advisory and we're like, okay.
Yeah, you can't step outside without like immediately dying of heat.
When it comes to cold here, sometimes like the first year that I lived here was the polar snap. Do you remember that in 2012 or 2020? Yep.
2012. Yep.
2012. Oh my god. Yep.
Yep.
It was like 20 below, like 35 below with the wind chill. And I don't think there's been a winter that's been as bad since, but that was bad.
Mm.
We definitely have had some cold, but not like long lasting like that winter.
Yeah. That whole winter was really, really cold.
I'm pretty sure that was the same year that school got canceled because the buses wouldn't start, and my older brother and I went to the sledding hill. Because that makes sense.
Okay, I've hit chapter 2.
Here's where our big bad gets big and bad.
Bigger and badder.
Yeah. Anya Anya is an interesting big bad. Because her motivations are ones that are relatable, but she's definitely a villain. So like it's a little bit of I didn't mean to go this far, sprinkled with I have to protect my family.
Yeah.
And like those are some of the most sinister villain arcs because it's like, well, you know, if I were in that situation, maybe I would be this bad. You can definitely see, like, it's weird because a lot of how you see her getting to the point she's at in Lemon Balm and Aloe happen in Rose. So, like, you don't actually see what her motivations are until way later.
Well, and it's interesting because we kind of have a parallel with one of Cypress's allies as well, where she went through the same thing, but went in a totally opposite direction.
Yeah, they're kind of mirrors of each other. And it shows like you could do everything right and still be bad, or you can do everything, you know, that's noble, and just the change in circumstances will change how people perceive you.
Mhm.
So it's a weird, interesting dynamic. There's no real like defined like, oh, this person is so evil they can't possibly be seen as anything else, except for Francois. And everybody else is like shades of gray. Like Acanthus isn't, you know, squeaky clean good. Anya isn't like evil shadow bad. You know, there's shades of morality there, which is really fun to play with.
Definitely. You have to get those subtleties in there and
Yeah.
explore them.
Well, because most people will exist in the middle like that. Like they're not going to be 100% pure versus 100% evil.
And I really look forward to writing one of our other characters' stories, Conan. He, without spoilers, knows a lot more about Anya than the rest of the pack does.
Yeah, Conan is interesting because...
Oh, timer just went off.
Oh, nice. Conan is interesting because he starts with one worldview, and then something happens, and then his worldview shifts drastically, and then something else happens, and his worldview shifts drastically again. And he's kind of got like a hurricane that he goes through multiple times, where like he questions everything that he's known up until that point. So it'll be interesting, because the way that we've structured this is some of the characters, we're going to be writing their stories ourselves, right? Like I'm doing Rose. I'm pretty sure that Conan is just Auden, right?
Yep.
So like it'll be interesting the direction that you take that and how you build onto that. I'm excited to see what you do with it.
Yeah, I think I am going to have the 2 point of views, one from Conan and one from Talia.
Okay.
But
I can always jump in and help too.
right, like I've helped you with some of Cypress's takes in Rose, so but
Yeah.
yeah, I think I'm gonna have the 2 POVs, just because I kind of want to write more into the witches in that book too, and Talia would give a good point of view on that.
Right? Because we have so much lore that centers around the witches that doesn't really get explained or told. Because Nocturne doesn't have it in Rose because she doesn't have a coven, so she doesn't know any of the ins and outs of like what witches actually do in the world of shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Ez would know a lot about witches, but we haven't written Aster yet.
Yep, and I'm not sure how much of the witches Ez would be willing to share, because she kind of seems like she's on the outskirts of that too.
I think that she is embroiled into it early on and then like divorces herself after the inciting event.
Yeah.
Which we could either go into or not. It depends on when we start telling that story or if there is another story outside of Aster that we tell from Ez's point of view or Austin's point of view or both.
Yeah.
How'd you do in the sprint, Tiffanie?
Let's see. Let me select it and find out. Got 814 words.
Nice.
Yippee. That's nice.
Inspired today, huh?
Yes.
That's awesome.
And this time, no dialogue.
Even better, because sometimes that's harder to fly through.
Yeah. Working on a scene where they are approaching a airship.
Okay.
Describing the airship a little bit. Describing tension of everyone inside the airship. Talking about how some of the characters are feeling. But also getting ready to talk about what they're about to do. So,
Right.
The dialogue's coming up, though. They're about to get into it and make contact with the other clan.
Awesome.
So that part should actually fly by pretty fast because it is dialogue heavy.
Right. Where I've gotten. So just for the sake of people who might be listening to this in podcast form, we're doing sprints, which is a set time that you focus on writing. But Tiffanie is actually writing and Auden and I are editing. Where I'm at currently is they're talking over a battle that they know is going to happen because a person who I'm not going to name because it's a spoiler, was found to be a spy, and basically went, okay, I think I may have the wrong kind of idea here, so I'm giving you a warning. This is going to wind up ending into an attack. And so they're basically discussing what to do about it. And Auden is in like the opposite end of the document, like dealing with pack shenanigans.
Yeah, where I am, spoilers have just come to spoilers.
Yeah, it's hard to talk about your book without giving too much away, you know?
Right. Which is why I'm trying to like just gloss over everything to be like, yeah, this is the situation. Like,
Yeah, because you want to share it. I mean, that's part of the problem when people ask about it. You want to share, but how much do you share without oversharing?
right. Well, and it's really easy when you're working with like the first in a series or just a standalone. A standalone book is harder, I would argue, than the first in a series. Because the first in a series, you can pretty much give a vague plot line without getting too spoilery. But once you hit like the second in a series, like we're at with Aloe, it's like, okay, I either need to explain a certain amount of the first book, or I need to start with a spoiler, or I need to be so vague that you don't actually know anything of what's going on.
Yeah. I mean,
I think this is why everybody hates blurbs.
I think that's why it's easier for me to kind of discuss spoiler details in Remnant. That's my other series because there's just so much going on. You have everything that's going on in the Remnant sector and Amnesty, and that doesn't really matter because that's just the first book, you know? The second book is you're in Amnesty, and it's all the Warglaive stuff. So that is just like a small portion. You barely even touch on like everything going on in the world. So
Yeah.
in this one, it's a little bit different because it is supposed to be more of a standalone.
Yeah, and then you're just like, well, if I give this detail away, then it's going to change this reveal, or this plot twist is going to be revealed, or something. And then it's just like, well, how do I talk about it when it's so condensed and, you know, everything is important to the larger plot?
Yeah, I guess people who write trilogies and just stick to trilogies have a pretty good idea of where they're going and how to discuss their books, I guess, because they're just like, oh, I can talk about this one, and this one. And then I can give as many spoilers as I want.
And I think part of that does come with experience too, right? Like, I don't know. This is my first time writing a series. Like, I've tried to write things in the past. Nothing has ever come to fruition. But like, it's my first time actually publishing something. So I don't know like how the general public, like, I don't know how to talk to the general public about my books, because it's like with friends it's different, right? Because you don't really care as much if you spoil something, so long as the friend doesn't care about being spoiled.
Yeah.
It's kind of different to navigate that.
Whereas like the public, the readers, they want spoilers.
Yeah, and you don't want to give them to them so that they'll read the book.
Yeah, because otherwise it ruins the experience.
Exactly.
So it's catch-22, I guess.
Right. Maybe that's something we should talk about at some point, is how to write a blurb, how to figure that stuff out. Because it's hard to figure out like what to emphasize and what to kind of gloss over, especially when the important stuff is the stuff you want to emphasize.
Well, top of that, like, if you do give spoilers to a friend, you know they're still gonna read the book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a blurb is really hard to find.
Yeah, I think the blurb was the first thing that I had finalized for Lemon Ball. Like, that came easy, but I have no idea how to start a blurb for Aloe. And maybe part of that is because we're rewriting parts of it. But, like, I look at it and go, oh my God, how do I condense this into 250 words? Like,
I haven't even written a blurb for the one I'm working on right now. It just hasn't been my priority.
yeah.
It would be nice if people could make an easy guide for this is how you do this if you want to publish a book.
Right.
Start with this part.
Well, and I mean, writing is its own beast within that, and editing is its own beast within that. And, figuring out, like, today I spent over an hour researching because, like, so originally I had a plan on what to do for our ebook and what to do for our print, right? Our print plan has not changed, but I keep going back and forth on what to do with our ebook because, a lot of what I've been seeing has been like, don't use I'm not going to name drop, don't use the service that I want to use for print for ebook because they're notoriously bad for ebook. So I'm like, okay, let me think of a different thing for ebook. So I did some research this morning and like I was going to go with an aggregate, which is basically a business that will contact places for you, take a certain cut of your sales, and do all of that back and forth for you. So you have one thing to log into, and it does all the negotiations and stuff like that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that place is where we're going for print. The place that you mentioned is one of the places that I think we're going to wind up doing direct. So when there's going with an aggregate or there's going direct. When you go aggregate, they do all of the negotiations for you. When you go direct, you have a login for that specific publisher, and then you look at those details yourself in the separate dashboards that they all have, right? So there's a couple of bigger publishers that are ebook friendly that you should do direct, and the rest of them you should do an aggregate for, is what I'm finding. There's 3 that I'm thinking we're going to go direct with, and then the rest I'm going to do an aggregate.
Okay.
But I spent like an hour and a half looking into stuff about that this morning because I was like, all right, I need to figure this out before I have my stuff completely done so that I can make sure that I have everything right in my formatting, that like everything is going to be good for these different places. Cause like this is part of the reason why I bought our ISBNs, because like when you're working with a place, they will provide an ISBN.
Yeah, but I've heard going with the free ISBNs is not a good idea.
Yeah, because then you don't own the rights. That platform owns those rights. So if you buy the ISBN yourself, then you have more control. You can say where it gets published, those types of things. So
yeah.
So yeah, I've just gone through so many research rabbit holes with this stuff. So
See, these are the kinds of conversations that we wanted to record.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, there's so many times that Auden and I are just sitting there and like talking about random stuff, and then it goes into something serious about the books, and it's like, man, that would have been great if we were doing a podcast.
Yeah.
And we have another friend who is a romance author who like we were talking about doing a podcast with at one point, and like that's another person that would be great in conversations like this. So
yeah,
I don't know.
we should just do this regularly and have like snacks and ice cream and make it a fun thing.
Right.
I would say wine, but I can't drink at the moment. So, and I don't know if either of you do. So,
I mean,
I do, but rarely.
yeah, pretty rarely. Though I did make some bomb beer bread yesterday. Not yesterday.
yeah.
The other day.
Today is Wednesday. It feels like a Tuesday, but
Yeah, it's Wednesday.
I love that when it's like the day after the day you think it is.
Yeah. 'Cause it's like, oh, the week's going faster.
But it is always the worst when it's like the day before the day you think it is.
Yeah, like, oh, it's Tuesday, right? No, it's Monday. Ha ha.
Oh no.
Yeah. I don't know. Wednesdays tend to be like, I know that it's a Wednesday today, but Wednesdays tend to be like my least favorite day of the week because it's exactly in the middle of the work week.
You call it hump
Mhm.
day.
Yeah, generally, like on a Wednesday, I need to start thinking about like what I need to do for my grocery lists and like my busiest stuff, like for my business, is on Mondays and Tuesdays. So Wednesdays are usually like I have to write a blog post, which takes a lot of time, and I need to plan for the rest of the week and figure out like what I'm going to wind up doing Thursday and Friday. So like a lot of my Wednesday just tends to be admin and back end work. And like usually I make appointments on Wednesdays because they're the first day that's lighter in the week. So like then I have to do a bunch of running around too. And it's just like I don't like Wednesdays.
Yeah. My favorite day is Thursdays. It always has been.
Why Thursdays?
So when I first got into like the full-time working world, I worked retail at a big super center who we won't name. I always requested like Thursdays and Sundays off just because everybody wants like the weekend day and the weekends off and whatever, and yeah, so I just kind of went, oh, well, just give me a day during the week, and I was able to pick what day I had off. So, like, I always had game night on Thursday nights, and it was just fun. But Thursdays were always a good day.
I used to hate the weekends because they were the hardest day of the week for me at work. But now I'm not working, so I don't really have a preference.
Yeah, I kind of Pavloved myself into like, Thursdays are just gonna be good, because I have the day off.
Yeah, I think my favorite day of the week is probably also Thursday or Friday because they tend to be the days that I can just like get into something creative and go and not really like have to schedule myself so tightly.
Mm-hmm. Just been noodling in the mornings and afternoons.
Right.
And resting in the evenings. It's been nice.
That's the way to do it. And I think once things will be a bit easier. You can dive headfirst into, some of the other things that we've talked about, like, your commissions and, advertising yourself for the things that you want to do and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Get some more work done.
yeah, exactly. Build something.
Maybe do more writing too.
Right. And I've been really heavily writing this week. I've barely done any artwork, which is a bad thing.
Hey, you finished your title page.
I did finish my title page. That is true. And I also did a sketch. So yesterday I just took a mental health day off of a bunch of stuff because I was just not having a good day. So I did a sketch yesterday that wound up staying a sketch, but I'll work on it, probably tomorrow during stream because I've been trying to do things that aren't part of my big projects on stream. And I need to start. One of the big things I need to start for my business is making pre-made book covers.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, I've been putting this off for a while, and I need to just jump in and do it because, like, at this point, I don't think many people know that I am an artist and do have a business. So I really need to start advertising myself again. I need to have things that are ready to buy and, just really dig into that because I was really busy with some of my contract stuff and some personal stuff through end of May all the way through end of July. So I just stopped, advertising my business entirely. Like I haven't talked about my shop in months. I haven't talked about um, my commissions or services or anything like that because I haven't had time to do those things anyway.
Mhm.
So
I need to hop off. I'm getting a call for school.
Okay. Talk to you later.
Bye, Auden.
Yep, bye, friends.
But yeah, I just need to get back to being like, by the way, if you like the things that I'm posting, like I do offer these as services, and I want to make some pre-made interior artwork as well. So
Yeah, I would love to do that too. Just get a bunch of stuff done, have it ready, available. Be like, I'm here. Buy stuff.
right. Well, and that's kind of the thing is like it will take some time to build some stuff up, but like I don't know if you're also trying to gear yourself towards books and stuff like that, but if you want to, like um we can meet like we do for the podcast and just like co-work,
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. Well, I'm sad Auden had to go. It was nice having new blood.
Right. I mean, it's okay. I'm sure that they'll hop in again,
I guess you just need some time. Give yourself a little bit of a break.
Yeah, I mean, I hit a pretty heavy burnout in July to where like I wasn't doing anything outside of like the stuff that I needed to get done on deadlines. So like as much as I love doing all the things that I am involved in, sometimes it's just like, okay, I am on the struggle bus. I need to readjust. So like what I'm really trying to do right now is I'm trying to make it so that I'm not working nearly as hard and I have some time to do other things, like whatever I want to do, like game or watch something or whatever, because I don't really give myself time to do those things. Just trying to find a better work-life balance and stop driving myself into the ground.
Work-life balance? Is there such a thing that exists?
I mean, I keep hearing that there is, but seems sus.
Okay. So, my stream deck already went dead. So, let me wake it up.
We've been talking for a bit.
Yeah. So, do we want to go for another 30 minutes?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Great. Are you all set?
Yep, I'm good.
Then ready, set, go.
Okay. First sentence I read is amazing.
What I read was a typo. Had to delete it.
The differences between Cypress and Acanthus's voice. I just got to the end of a point of view, and Cypress is like, I smiled, slightly reassured. And then the first sentence of Acanthus's point of view is, this was going to be a bloody battle. My bones screamed at the voices of the fallen brethren and echoes of past transgressions. It's like happy-go-lucky, unending dread.
Mine. So Italian is trying to calm his people. They're all on edge right here in in the ship, they're approaching a massive warship of a clan that they've fought, that killed his father, that killed the sister of somebody here. Basically, they've all lost somebody to these people, and
Right.
now they're allies. So he's giving just a little speech, and basically he's saying, "We fought this clan for generations. None of that history will be forgotten, but it will keep. Today we meet them as allies, bound by a common enemy, a greater enemy. The queen threatens us all, and alone we will falter. We need more numbers to face her armies. This is not peace, but it is a truce, an alliance. I expect all of Clan Valerian to honor it." So he's basically telling them to suck it up.
Yeah, right. I know these people hurt you, but right now we need them more than your hurt needs justice, essentially.
Yeah. Which sucks, but
Yeah, I mean, you know what you're asking at that point. You're like getting rid of a blood feud, which is a big deal.
yeah. So the bitterness doesn't vanish, but they move on.
Right? It's not like it's not like a band-aid. It's a band-aid over a gaping wound.
Exactly.
Ledge did something awesome for us and started to record the book as a audiobook.
Uh-huh.
Because we're still recording and because I can talk about this, for anybody listening that doesn't know, Ledge is my husband and he is an actor with me in the theater and has an interest in voice acting. So he was like, yeah, I will help you record this into an audiobook. And he brought my laptop into our closet and set up on the bottom on the floor of the closet and closed the door, and it worked really well because the clothes work as a sound dampener and it sounds really professional. But it was just really funny to hear him, talking to himself in the closet. So
If I remember right, that's what Elizabeth Wheatley did.
yeah, that's also what Matt Pat did for Game Theory when they first started.
Yeah, there's like a video. So it's just the things you have to do when you're indie.
Basically, yeah.
You can't afford like padding on the walls, individual rooms. You have to go in a closet and record with blankets over your head.
Yeah.
and a little microphone to your mouth. It's just what you have to do.
I've seen people take those fabric bins that you can get at like the dollar store or like Target or something.
Uh-huh.
I've seen people take one of those and then put soundproofing padding in that and then just thread their microphone through it. And that seems to work really well. And I was like, well, that's a good idea for like if you don't have a room or something, but you still have to get the soundproofing tiles,
Mm-hmm. Well, how much do this even cost? Let me look.
They're not super expensive for a small pack. It's like $5 for 4 of them. So
Amazon 54 pack for $34.
yeah, they're not expensive at all.
That sounds really nice, actually. I might get me some of those. I don't exactly have a wall for them, but
well, and that's the issue too. Is like I wouldn't be able to put up soundproofing tiles in my office because I have so many things on the walls. Like I'd have to take everything down, and also my ceilings are 10 feet high. So like even if I have the sound absorption tiles on, it'd be kind of useless because of how tall my ceilings are. So
you could put them on the roof.
Yeah,
Make it.
but I'd have to figure out a better way to stick them because they tend to fall. So
yeah.
Born and raised in New York, and I wouldn't recommend living there if you have an issue with people being rude. But like, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Have you ever written a story based on New York?
I started one.
Oh, that's right.
Such Sweet Sorrow is based in Rhinebeck.
Yeah, I forgot you started writing that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that one hit a little too close to home.
Yeah, I mean, it's a grief horror. So what grief horror is like scary or upsetting situations that are based around grief. And like it's got cozy aspects to it. Cozy horror is a weird genre because it's like it's uplifting until it's not. And then it's back to being uplifting towards the end. It's a paranormal horror that centers around grief. The main character, originally I had her name Mallory Sinclair, but her Mallory is the name of a character in the Night Garden, and I'm probably going to change her name to Rebecca.
Mm-hmm.
Rebecca Sinclair is living in Chicago with her boyfriend, who is not the nicest guy. They wind up breaking up, and then she finds her parents have died in a car crash. So when she breaks up with him, she's like, okay, I'm going to go back to New Jersey where they lived, settle their affairs, and then stay in an old vacation home in Rhinebeck that they owned.
Mm-hmm.
The new scenery would do me well. She's dealing with this house that's in need of repairs, basically fixing it up while dealing with... I haven't decided if it's an actual ghost that's haunting the house that she moves into, or if it is the ghosts of her parents, or if she's seeing her parents because she's grieving, or, you know, I haven't decided exactly what the situation is yet, which is part of why I set it aside. But also, like, when I first started working on it, it has a lot of elements of grief in it. And at the time that I started to work on it, my brother, you know this, but people who are listening don't. My brother had a battle with cancer that he lost, and I started writing it about a month before he passed, right around my birthday, and he had fallen into a coma, and so a lot of what I was writing was just like stream of conscious thought pieces that are gathered in the document to alchemize into something later, but like pulling from that personal experience of, you know, losing someone who I loved very deeply and cared a lot about. So, you know, it's one of those things where, like, when he fell into the coma, I wrote some stuff and then put it aside. And then I was like, because I had this thought brewing for a couple of months, but then like the coma was like, okay, he does not have much longer. Like I found out in such a way that was like, he may not pull back out of this. And then he wound up pulling back out of it and living for another month. But after that, it was like, I can't work on this right now. So I think I'm back to a point where I can work on it. But yeah, it was born from a very, very dark time.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to jump into something like that after experiencing loss. So I don't blame you for taking a break from it.
Yeah, and like even if I do actually like write that one, it's probably going to be one that I'm going to have to write in pieces, you know, slow, and only go to it when I'm in a better mindset. And like, you know, it's going to be a hard one to write. So,
Yeah.
like I've experienced loss before, but that one, that sucked.
Yeah, a bit more devastating.
Yeah.
Can I ask why you changed the main character's name?
So the character, originally I named her Mallory because I liked the name, and like my first thought for her name was Rebecca, but I was like, well, I don't have anything to base that off of. Usually when I name a character, I like to pick a vibe for that character and then find a name that fits that vibe. And I hadn't done that with her. So I was like, let me look up some names that I like, with a certain theme to it. And I landed on Mallory, forgetting that there is a character in the Night Garden series named Mallory. She doesn't come in until towards the end of Aloe, but I already have a character named Mallory, and I was like, well, I can keep her as Mallory. This is a different world, but I don't like the thought of that. So I just reverted it back to Rebecca.
Our timer just went off, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I think Rebecca works nicely. And yeah, I've made that same mistake before, using the same character's name more than once. So
yeah, and I think sometimes like that works out, especially if it's not connected or in a different world. Like people have the same name as other people. There's too many people in the world to not.
yeah, it happens.
But
And it happens in books too. There's instances in books where you have a John and a John and a John, and they differentiate it by last names or like Little John, or nicknames. Or John Senior, John Junior.
Right. Yeah, I try to be more inventive with my naming conventions, but yeah, there are definitely times where people's names overlap, or they're from different areas, and like it's not like, oh yeah, I'm Arthur and my cousin's name is Arthur. Like it's different families and stuff like that. Like,
or if they do, it's Arthur and it's spelled differently.
yeah, exactly.
That actually just reminded me of something I saw on Instagram the other day. It was what fantasy authors do, and she wrote out a name and it was spelled perfectly fine, and then her face just changed and she was just like, I'm a fantasy author. So she changed a spelling to a Y, and it changed the look of the name, and I was just like, don't do it.
Right, just use the standard name. What is this obsession with high fantasy having like unpronounceable names? Like,
I don't know. I mean, I guess I can't talk because the spelling of one of my characters' names is Taoghan, but
yeah.
I'm trying to use like Scottish inspired names.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think that there's an issue with that because it comes from a specific phonetic reasoning, right? Like you could very easily just put a phonetic guide in the author notes at the start of your book.
Yeah. So when I was doing my research, this was like Scottish Gaelic,
Mm-hmm.
and let me see if I can find it again.
Both Scottish and Irish Gaelic are beautiful, by the way.
Yes. I think it's a badger. Maybe not. I'll have to see if I can find the website again.
Rebecca as a name comes from a Hebrew origin, and it generally means to tie or to bind.
Nice.
So that actually does fit the character really well. Mallory came from a feeling of pessimism, if I remember correctly. So
Cool.
yeah, this is how I do my naming conventions. I think of what the character's like first, and then I find a name that fits that.
Yeah, I used to do that. Now I just kind of find a name that I like and go with it.
Nothing wrong with that. So, some wrap up things to note. Lemon Bomb. It's currently August 13th at the recording of this. We will probably have this out by
when we get it up.
Yeah, when we get it up, I'm gonna try and get it up probably next week. Lemon Balm is a contemporary dark fantasy. I mentioned earlier that Aloe is as well. The whole series is contemporary dark fantasy. It focuses on the main characters, Acanthus Selene and Cypress Born. Cypress is a werewolf. Acanthus is a vampire, and they meet under extenuating circumstances. Cypress is essentially attacked by a dog, doesn't understand what's going on with his life, but it falls apart. He starts losing time and having fits of rage, and isolates more and more until he gets to a last-ditch effort and essentially impulse buys a church. And his life completely flips upside down there when he meets Acanthus. So if an LGBT story with ace non-binary leads sounds interesting to you, then check it out. The pre-order is until September 15th, and then it will be out pretty much anywhere you can buy books on Halloween. Lemon Balm is on. It's past its crowdfund, but there is a pre-order open until September 15th. You can find the information in the description below. And then it will come out on Halloween, and we will have more information on that whenever. So, Tiffanie, you are published in an anthology, right?
I completely forgot about that. Yes, I am.
Okay. Do you want to put some info together about that, or just talk about that quick?
Yeah, sure. I am published in 2 group anthologies. So they're both on Amazon.
Not to put you on the spot.
Well, it's bad that I have to look up my own book.
Yeah, you should be promoting that a bit. Get that on your website.
My website is currently down.
Makes sense. But you can also make a post about it on your copy.
Oh, good point.
That's kind of the thing. You don't need your website to be up, since you can put all the things that you had on your website on your copy, and then just use that until you have the money to bring the website back.
All right. So the first book is called Into the Unknown, a science fiction anthology. It was distributed by Lower Deck Press, which is actually the writing crew that I'm part of. And it's just a collection of short stories that the crew put together. They're science fiction, and they're all about basically just little weird space things that we put together. Mine was, what was this one about? Well, shoot. This one was about, my goodness. This was published in 2022, so that was a while ago. Do you have trouble remembering some of your short stories?
Oh, absolutely. I haven't published any of mine though, so.
Okay, I remember she was on a dying, like a derelict spacecraft, and it was dying, and she was part of the team that was trying to basically find a new home, and something goes wrong. And I don't want to give any more away because spoilers.
Short story.
But she gets yeah, short story. But she gets harassed by a security guard, and there's a spy. So there. The other one is called Beyond Human, the other anthology, and that one is about a android who accidentally inherits a son.
Okay. Awesome. All right.
This is what happens in Sprints of Consciousness.
Exactly. We just kind of thought stream until we don't. So thanks for listening, everyone. We hope that you enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah, with the resident alien, the resident vampire, and the resident werewolf.
Yeah, the resident monsters of the server.
And And thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you for joining. And we'll be back when we're back. There's not going to be any pressure or schedule really to this. We're just kind of doing this when we feel like writing. So sprints of consciousness, everybody.
Yep, we just do this for fun.
Bye.
Bye.